John Dixon, standing here inside Clarke's Hardware in the New London Shopping Center. We have a couple of cans of paints, stains, primers. What we're going to be talking about this week, last week we talked about cleaning the deck off, sealing the deck. This week we're going to talk about what we want to do if we want to stain the deck, or we want to stain our house, the siding, or if we want to paint. So let's start off with something I didn't know actually. This is a primer, and we all know that we want to prime our walls and stuff like that before we paint inside, or we want to prime outside. But you can actually prime your deck before you stain it. And you were talking about a kind of a situation that somebody's having to deal with now with some moisture.
Right. True statement. You can prime the top of the deck if you desire. However, once you do that, then you are locked into going to a solid color stain on top of that deck.
Okay.
To go to a semi-solid or semi-transparent that you can see through, you don't want to do that if you're going to use that kind of a finish. If you run into a situation like I'm working with a gentleman now on who has a moisture problem with the moisture coming up through the bottom of his deck, working its way through the wood and pushing the surface off, that's a good situation where you might want to consider letting that deck dry off after you've stripped it. Okay. Then put a coat of primer on, then put a coat of your finish, your solid color finish on it.
Okay. So you can't use your typical stain where it kind of brings out that natural color a little bit. You have to use the solid color to go over the primer.
If you use the primer.
Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. So we're not going to use the primer. We just want to stain our deck. A lot of people have done it out there. And stains are tricky. Some of them dry fast, some of them not so fast. Some of you have to spread on. Talk us through a little bit of it. Okay.
The easiest one to start with is the decking stain. It's exactly what it says it is. It's meant to go on a deck. It's formulated to take that kind of wear and tear. That's a solid color product. Okay. Okay. There are some that are semi-transparent. There are some that are semi-solids that you can see a little bit of graining through. So those products are all available also. Most of what we carry in that is in a product called Cabot, as you can tell. The Australian Timber Oil by Cabot is meant to go on good woods like teak, mahogany, those kind of things. Oh, okay. It does come with some toners in it, but that's a very, very good product to use on those high quality woods.
And this is all stuff applied with brushes, correct? You don't have to use the rags or anything like that, right? You can.
My recommendation to people is, you can brush it on, you can roll it on, you can spray it on. If you have any problem with cupping in your boards at all, you're going to wind up going back and brushing anyway. Oh, okay. So why save yourself the extra step and just brush it?
Just brush it in the first place.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
If you don't back brush when you roll on those cupped areas, what you're going to wind up with is a puddle of stuff in there. This become sticky, become nasty. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. Yeah. So you got to back brush it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're going to come into Clarke's and say, John, why do I have this? And you're going to say you should have brushed.
Right. And more than happy to talk with people when they come in about what I want to use on my deck. Yeah. Why should I use this versus that? Yeah. And more than happy to go through that process with them. Cool. The other thing we talked about last week was getting the siding of your house cleaned up, whether you're going to stain it or paint it, or what is it you really want to wind up doing. Right now, most of the market appears to be leaning towards staining the side of a house because the stain soaks into the siding and clings to it a little better than just regular paint does.
Now, the colors of stain, can you get the same colors of stain that you can regular paint? Any
color that you would like to have, we can match from our color chips back here. Cool. Cabot does have their own selection of about 76 different colors. Most people don't have any trouble picking one out from that. Yeah. But we can do pretty much anything that you'd like to with it.
Excellent.
As far as what's available for the siding products, the finish is more along the lines of a paint than it is a stain, but it's a very good product because it has the characteristics of stain. Ah, okay. That it will soak into the surface you're going to. I use that particular product on my house, on my trim, working very well.
The John Dixon stamp of approval then.
You got it, right there. The other product would be the Pro VT solid color siding stain. Difference between a siding and a decking stain, this is formulated to go on the side of a house, not on a deck. Mm-hmm. Whereas a deck stain, you can use either because it's manufactured to take that wear and tear. So you can go either way with the decking stain, whereas you really shouldn't with the siding stains.
Cool. And we talked in the winter. We were painting a room, and we had to obviously get some different colors and stuff like that. These are our paints down here, but you guys have so many different finishes. You can color match. You can do anything here. So if anybody is doing anything with paint in the area, come down to Clarke's Hardware, and they can do a lot for you.
Be happy to help. Be happy to help.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. These last couple of weeks, we're learning all this stuff about the houses and decks and staining. I'm learning a lot, but maybe I'm learning that I don't want a house yet because I don't want to have to deal with all this stuff. But you are helping everybody else out there that does have it. So thanks a lot, John. Next week we'll be back again. Stick with us, and back to you.